Right. Hello and welcome to the Zonal Weakness for Game Week 17 and 18, brought to you by Ghana Football Fantasy, powered by Fantasy Football Scout. Glad to have Sankalp with me from the other side of the border, India. Welcome, Sankalp. How are you doing?
All good, busy weeks ahead of football, so looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And how was your Game Week 16, if I may ask?
Oh my God. I don't think it went well, right? And coupled with Arsenal's draw, so not a great week as such, but looking forward to the next one as always.
I apparently happen to be, karma is a bitch, as people say it. I apparently happen to have fondly remembered you when it was a 0-0, but then I decided not to. I decided to hold my laugh a little bit. But then when it became Manchester City 1 and Manchester United 2, I definitely remembered you a lot. I was like, okay, I think I remember somebody today. But anyway,
Uh,
glad.
if it helps,
My gave me
if it helps, I was at least supporting United for that match, and I was very happy when you guys won.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Sometimes the enemy of my enemy is my best friend, so it's okay. Totally. So I can completely get that. But anyway, my game week was good except Parma, and yeah, that was the only disappointment. I mean, if had Parma scored a little bit, I mean, I would have really climbed the rank because I've been on a free fall because of my personal issues, not being able to focus in the game. But since then, this game week was finally with Hall and everyone, Ahmad as well in my team. So yeah,
Oh,
I was pretty happy with it. I was pretty chuffed, I would say, with everything that happened. But anyway, let's get to the show, and this will be audience for your information. This will be 2 weeks. We are covering game week 17 and 18 at once. I know the 18 is a little bit far away, but we are trying to cover it early because a lot of people will be going on Christmas break. Even we are going on a Christmas break. So yeah, I thought it would be good to do it together so that we get a little bit of break ourselves from content creation. So without further ado, let's start. And this is the zonal weakness, of course, for game week 17 and 18. And before you do anything, please do give us a follow, like, and subscribe if you haven't, because we are producing regular content here. So yeah, it would be great if you can support. Any kind of support coming from you would be sincerely appreciated, of course. And all the stats that you see, including the zonal stats, are from the Fantasy Football Scout membership area. If you're interested in the membership, please click in the link in the description below, and you'd be able to get access to it with a 40% discount on it. So without further delay, just click in that link, and I'm sure you won't be disappointed, and it's worth the money that you spend. Yeah. Right. So here is the zonal transfer review that we made in Game Week and 13, and it covered Game Week 16. The problem is Yao Pedro, and I am not going to talk about it a little bit, but I'll leave it to Sankalp to decide. Sankalp, over to you.
yeah, I think three interesting predictions that we came out with. I think Ivan Nilsson did much better. At least the Wolves game gave him a good 12 pointer, solid start to start with. Then things we did not go as we planned. But the Brighton boys have been a real disappointment without any doubt. Both Pedro as well as Ruter. They have been playing well, but somehow that has not converted into FPL points for us, right? A lot of Pedro owners, I think, among FPL managers, and it's something that we now need to think about. How do we plan from here on?
Right, that is true. Anyway, let's not look backward, but let's look forward, and I think that's the key in FPL. And of course, with the busy schedule, it helps us to get over our sadness and grief and anger and frustration quite quickly. So, moving on. This is Game Week 17, first slide, covering 8 teams. Over to you, Sankalp.
Perfect. So first up, it's Pool going to Spurs, right? And it seems Salah is no longer the favorite when it comes to that match. It's Luis Diaz or Gapco, depending on who's starting. That is one problem with Pool. Sometimes we cannot predict exactly who starts, but whoever it is, they can have a good ball as per the zonal weakness, right? From its crosses considered point of view, I think Trent would perhaps be a great, well placed to create those opportunities for others. Even Salah, I think, has become a good guy when it comes to assists, etc. Right. Next up, we have Fulham, who have been playing really well. I know they had good results against both Arsenal and Liverpool back to back now. They are going away to Southampton, who have just sacked their manager, all white. So most of the players are looking good. I think a lot of managers have now jumped on the Robinson bandwagon this week, and I think what Zonal Weakness is saying, it will be a great choice for us. Let's see, fingers crossed. Apart from that, Jimenez, Smith Rowe, these are all good. I think every wing is looking really lighted up, and that's because how bad Southampton have been so far. Do Southampton have a new manager bounce? They don't have a manager yet, so hopefully not. At least for managers with FPL, Fulham assets. Let's hope it works for us. Right. And next we have Brighton. Right, Brighton, like we spoke about, have been a bit disappointing for us over the last few weeks. But all eyes on Pedro again, and if not, maybe we'll have to plan our successor. FPL is dynamic in nature, so one more week for Pedro. There are some managers with Mitoma as well. So again, something to look at. But he's not really lighted up when it comes to the zonal weakness. But right there on the top is actually Rooter and Lamptey. Lamptey has been playing really well since the last few weeks, and I think he's been getting up into the FPL points as well, has an assist, has a goal. So someone to really look at for this week, right? Um, we have a good Newcastle now. I think in form Newcastle, they're playing really well post that Liverpool match, and they visit Ipswich away. Generally, it's a high scoring match, and you can see Gordon and Hall are looking good when it comes to this fixture. Hall gave a massive 15 pointer to his managers, just last week. So in case you're a new, hall manager, maybe there's something where you can hope that the points continue to flow. At the same time, there are a lot of managers who continue to punt, and Gordon was been such a tremendous player for Newcastle over the last couple of seasons. And what Journal Weakness is saying us or telling us is this is likely to continue. Right. Next up, we have Brentford going away to going. I think they are at home to Nottingham Forest, and Brentford at home have been the best attacking side this season at home, right? And that shows zonal weakness as well. Both Bumo as well as Visa or Thiago are looking really well. Bumo has started scoring again. Post have sold him, so maybe that continues. Um, if you look at Nottingham Forest, Wood has been and continues to be one of the best, forward options for us in the game. And he's still a differential, so that's best. And as you can see, Brentford have continued to be a bit leaky as well, apart from scoring goals themselves. So Wood, Aina, Hudson-Odoi or Nico Williams, all these assets are lighted up because Brentford have not been good at the back. Right. Next, we have Wolves against Leicester. Wolves, as we know, have sacked the manager as well, and I think they go into this week without a manager. So let's see how that turns up. But Larson is actually top of the fixture when it comes to Leicester. So if you have Larson like me, I think we play him this week and just hope for the best. Kuna is there at fifth, but there are a lot of noise around the post-match incident, and I think he's going to be banned, but he may be available for this week if Wolves decide to, uh, go for a further round of discussion, right? So uh, that is the only thing that we need to keep a track of as FPL managers. But Larsen, Semedo, Belgrade, they are all looking really nice when it comes to the fixture, which is Leicester at home, right? Arsenal have not been playing really well, and zonal weakness clearly shows us the same fixture. The interesting thing is, while generally Saka and Odegaard are the top assets for Arsenal, what zonal weakness is saying that the opportunities lie more from a Trossard and Martinelli point of view. And in case we are looking for differentials, maybe that is a place for us to look at, right? We'll move on to the next slide once it is up.
Yeah, just a slight technical difficulty on my end.
Okay.
There seems to be something wrong with the. For some reason, the slide is gone and it's not coming at
Okay.
all. So let me just do
Load it
one
again.
thing. Yeah, I'm trying to reload the slides again, and let me see if I can. Just give me a moment. Yeah.
Sure, sure.
Sorry, audience, for this, but I think we'll be back again soon. So just give me a moment. I think we'll be there. Something with the system. Yeah, I think we'll be live again. Just let me say. There you go. Okay, we are back again, I think, right? Can you see it?
Yeah, yeah. I'm waiting for the slides, but I
Okay,
can see the zonal
okay,
weakness.
okay. So here it is.
Perfect.
Yeah, here is the next slide. Yeah, over to you, Sankalp. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. So next up we have West Ham going to Brighton. And West Ham have looked slightly better over the last couple of weeks. Uh, Both Bowen as well as Kudus are on the topper on the first top 5 or 6 in the choices from a zonal weakness point of view. Kudus and Van Bissaka seem to be on the higher side. We also have to keep an eye on Suchek. It's been a couple of seasons since he used to score a lot of goals, but I think he's getting into his groove a bit more again, and he will get these opportunities as well as for the zonal weakness against Brighton, right? Um, if you look at City against Haaland, I think the form that City is just like us. None of the players are highlighted, and it's also Villa at home, which has been a tricky fixture. Last year, I think City lost 1-0 there to Villa, so it won't be an easy fixture at all. And it just shows the reality of things, right? We also have Chelsea going to Everton, and Everton just coming off a draw against us. At home, they are a tough team to beat and score against, and that's one of the reasons maybe the likes of Jackson and Palmer do not stand out as a captaincy material for sure. But if you have them, you definitely play them and hope for the best, right? Uh, so Spurs have really played well. The last few weeks, they scored I think five against Southampton. Uh, Unfortunately, Liverpool are a really strong defensive team, so this is something we have to see. How it pans out. From a zonal weakness point of view, we cannot identify any weakness from a Liverpool point of view that should help any of the attacking players from Spurs. Uh, but if we just have to choose, I think it looks like the left side is still the dominant side, and someone like Son and Madison might be the better choices from Spurs assets. Um, Looking purely from a Villa point of view, going against City, City have been conceding goals, but they are not really high when it comes to conceding XG, etc. But someone like Duran, who is on form, or even Watkins, are perhaps the best option when it comes to Villa assets, primarily because City concede a lot of opportunities from the central zones. Similarly, if you have someone like Rogers, I think you still go ahead and play him against City and hope for the best, because at the end of the day, it's a home fixture, right? United have, I think they're looking really good, and I can see Nadim by beaming a bit. So Bournemouth away is not a easy fixture, to be honest. It's a tricky fixture. If you have the likes of Ahmad, etc., I think you hope for the best, but zonal weakness is not really signing for them. But you can see Holland and Fernandez are slightly higher up, and managers, especially I think Fernandez has a decent bit of ownership currently among FPL managers, and if you have him, you definitely play him and hope for the best again. Similarly, if we look at Bournemouth assets, unfortunately, they look really low when it comes to United, primarily because of the form that United have been over the last 3-4 weeks. So no one really signs out from zonal weakness point of view. Right? Ipswich at home against Newcastle. The the left flank is looking really strong, and someone like Hutchison or Johnson can be those guys who get to the end of opportunities and can score. That's all
Right.
from our side
Okay.
for Game Week 13.
Yeah, Gimmick 17. So let's go into the team of the week for the Gimmick 17 and we can quickly touch upon and then we'll move into the Gimmick 18. Yeah.
Yep.
Over to you,
So most
Simple.
of the names, yeah, most of the names like we spoke about: Wood, Isak, Gordon, Salah, Bumo, Iwobi, and you have someone like Gibbs White coming in here, right? Robinson, Hall, Semedo, interestingly, can be good assets when it comes to players at the back.
Right. Okay. So what we're going to do is now we'll move into the Gimmick 18. Yeah. So here we are, Gimmick 18 slide, and this is where we focus. And Gimmick 18 is based on Gimmick 16's data because Gimmick 17 hasn't yet happened. So just for the audience review, please do understand that these stats are likely to change, but unfortunately, we will not be able to do an updated. But if there are players who are injured over the time, we might just do an updated thread just to inform, but focus on the zone rather than on the data itself and also the players itself. Yeah, I would suggest
Yeah.
focus on the zones and then keep updated according to the press conference. But over to you, Sankar, in this case.
So game week 18, I think, will look great again for Salah owners and captainers. Expecting him to be a popular captain's choice when it comes to game week 18. Even Trent is looking really, really good as someone who can create opportunities or else even get into those, last minute late into the box runs. Similarly, when we look at Arsenal, I think they're home to Ipswich. Sorry, and this can be really interesting for Arsenal because again Martinelli and Trossard look like the guys who are going to benefit a lot more than the others when it comes to zonal weakness, right? So if you are looking to punt, I think looking at game week 17 and 18, not a bad week to punt on someone like Trossard and Martinelli. I know it looks unlikely, but it seems like, from a zonal weakness point of view, they are going to be the most beneficiaries. So, game week 19, maybe we sit down and look back again and see how things panned out for these two player assets. Right.
Yeah,
Um,
and if it doesn't work out, we can always blame Sankar for it.
of course.
Anyway, continue, please.
Yeah, yeah. West Ham, we have West Ham going away to Southampton, and I think that's the week. Most of the West Ham assets will look really strong. Bowen is right there at the top, be it and similarly we have Somerville as well, who's looking really good attacking Southampton. But one thing to note is by game week 18, we do expect a new manager to come in for Southampton, so that might tweak things a bit, as to how they set up. Right, that's just one rider, one star mark that we need to add here. Next up, we have Spurs going away to Forest, and Forest at home have been a good side when it comes to the defensive opportunities, but they do concede a bit from the central zones and from the left flank. And we have seen that Johnson, with his late runs into the box, has scored a lot of goals this season. I think around 10 goals for Spurs. Right, so Solanke, Johnson, I think are going to be key assets when it comes to this week. And you never know, Poros does score every 6 or 7 weeks. So maybe that is his game week to score again. Um, Next up, we have Palace going away to Bournemouth. Mateta, Sar, Eze. I think these are the popular choices when it comes to starting XI for Palace. Mateta looks like the guy who's going to benefit a lot more, but Sar has been on tremendous form. Unfortunately, zonal weakness is saying it doesn't look like a great week for him. Something for us to look at, especially because I see some people are now considering Sar as an option. The next 2 weeks might not be the best weeks for him. Right. Uh, Brighton are going. Actually have Brentford coming down here. So at home, again, zonal weakness is telling us very clearly that Brentford consider a lot from central zone. So Zoe Pedro looks like really up top. So if you're looking to sell him I think these 2 weeks look good for him, and it seems like logically we should sustain 2 more weeks rather than be those managers who sell those players and then lament on those points missed. Right. Mitoma as well looks really strong for against Brentford, so something to keep a note at. Similarly, Brighton have been conceding bit more on the left flank side. So another good week possibly for Bumo, at least as per zonal weakness. It seems an area that Brentford can target a lot, right? If you look at the crosses conceded, they do cross a lot from the other side, and it seems that Brighton are conceding a lot of crosses from the right flank. So someone like Scard or Guard can create opportunities for Boom or even Visa, and we see Visa on the headers side highlighted as well, right? So that's something to note. Uh, we have Bournemouth at home against Crystal Palace, and I think it will be interesting to see which of these assets come out. A lot of Semenyo, Kirk's owners. I think we did get some positive news around Semenyo injury, so that can be good. But no one really, signing out as such, apart from Semenyo or Kirk's.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm done with Semenyo, to be honest. I'm going to sell him. I'm a bit tired. But anyway, let's move on to the next slide. And here it is.
Yep. A very clean, green, environmentally friendly Manchester City for us. Uh, at home to Everton. But you never know. I mean, 2 weeks is a long time, so maybe things change for City. At the end of the day, they are one of the best teams that we have seen over the last few years. Uh, Chelsea are going to be at home against Fulham. Interestingly, Fulham obviously over the last few weeks have started playing really well, and that's why you don't see the likes of Palmer, Jackson lighting up. But they do consider a lot of crosses, and we see someone like Madueke or Nkoku, can create some opportunities for Jackson from the left flank, right? Similarly, Wolves. It does look like Wolves are at home, and are United assets do not really look really strong there for Wolves uh, fixture, but at the same time they are looking really really good. And if you have someone like Ahmad or even Holland or Fernandez, you play them right and you hope for the best. Uh, if we look at if we look at Newcastle, they are at home to Villa. Villa have been leaky, but overall, from a scheme of things, it looks like Isak, Hall, they do not, really come out strong this week. Um, but on the other hand, when it comes to Newcastle home, Villa can create opportunities for them, and Cash looks like someone who's coming out as a differential assets from that side, right? Um, Wolves against United, no one really to look at. Again, caveat is there's a new manager who will ideally be in place by that time, and things can look slightly different for these matches, right? Similarly, Chelsea at home, so none of the Fulham assets, attacking assets, are signing as well, right? But from a Nottingham Forest point of view, because they are at home, um, Hudson Odoi again looking really good for game week 18. And similarly, from a cross considered point of view, you can see someone like Aina uh, can create some kind of trouble, especially if we can put a good cross into Wood's head. That's all.
Right. I think that's a pretty comprehensive, Sankalp. I think that's pretty comprehensive, and I think we kind of did justice to the 2 game weeks that we kind of tried to cover here. But thank you so much, Sankalp. This has been quite brilliant, and there has been a lot of underlying and important bits of nuggets of information that came out, which would be very useful. But again, managers, please do keep an eye on the zonal weakness thread as well. We'll try and share as much as we can. But yeah, until then, Merry Christmas, Sankalp, and enjoy the winter break. And we will see you after the Christmas break, audience. But till then, take care. Bye bye.
Bye.